Welcome to Focus on the Fun Stuff, the podcast for business owners who want to build a business that they actually love. I'm your host, Emma Mills, seven-figure founder of MiPA, the UK's leading virtual PA support agency. And since 2008, MiPA has helped thousands of business owners to buy back their time, get out of the weeds, and focus on what matters most. And every week on the podcast, I'm sharing my own journey live as it happens and interviewing other business owners who've been exactly where you are now. And we're sharing practical tactics and real strategies to help you build a business that works for you, not the other way around.
If you lurch from week to week without really getting stuff done, like when you get to Friday and you think, oh God, it just doesn't feel productive, it just feels like more of the same, then this week's episode is for you. I have a mantra, and my mantra is that reactive entrepreneurs are not happy entrepreneurs. It's my mantra, it's because it's me, that's what I live by. On the days when I am getting pulled from pillar to post, I absolutely hate those days. And on the days when I've gone in with it with 3 top things to get done, I absolutely love those days. And even if those 3 top things only take me an hour, I feel like an absolute productivity queen, because I emerge into the rest of the day knowing that the top 3 things that were important got done. Even if they only took an hour and I've got the other remaining 7 or 8 in the day, in the work day, to be reactive, like the day is still greatly more meaningful than just going through the day without a real plan. I've been in business for over 16 years now, and without a doubt the past 4 years have been the most meaningful, is probably the right word. They've had the most growth, we've done the most, I've achieved the most. I don't mean financially, I just mean in like what we've created internally. I have enjoyed them far more than the previous 10 years, and even in my personal life I have done things that I hadn't thought were possible before. So whether that was like staying in Spain for 5 weeks last October to work from there, whether it was doing like a fitness transformation last summer, I've started to do set bigger goals and get them ticked off. And quite frankly, if you really do this properly and set goals that are meaningful to you, getting them done is like the biggest endorphin boost ever. But you have to treat it properly. You can't just create goals at the beginning of the year and not look at them again. It's when you actually create things that are really meaningful and go, yes, at some point in this year I want to get this done. And then when you look back and you are getting them done, it's like, wow. It is the biggest self-confidence boost. It's the biggest congruency in you achieving what you know what it's possible to achieve, and it gives you that kind of momentum and self-forward. And I absolutely pull all of this down to the way that I operate now in my weeks. It's without a doubt that. So the first 10 years of being in business, I was definitely a busy fool for so much of it. I would not plan my time, not plan my weeks. I was doing a lot of client work, which was like the biggest stopper to my growth and to my what I wanted, what success looks like for me. And literally in COVID, in the summer of 2020, I got time back, and I really distinctly remember having a conversation with my business coach, who I've spoken about so many times on here, Martin. And I said to him, I can't do the next 4 or 5 years as the last 4 or 5 years have been, because I'm going to be greatly unhappy if that happens. And we were like, okay, so let's make a plan. And it's funny because I had never really made specific plans that were meaningful. I have made plans, and I've even got one hanging around here somewhere, which I will find. Stop camera.
A few minutes later.
Roll camera, found the picture. And this is the plan that I made in, where is it, 2014? Oh, where are you now? December 2015. And this plan was exciting and great, and it had me doubling revenue in a year. I didn't make this plan, by the way. I didn't double this revenue. It was about buying a new car, Black & Vogue, remember when they were really popular? And I made this plan. So I had made a plan, but what I had never done was break down how I get there in my day-to-day and my week-to-week. And I think this is where so many people go wrong. They only think about, right, in the next 12 months I want to do X, and it's really exciting and sexy. I'll put this down now. To dream about big goals, that's the bit that makes us excited. But what we absolutely must do, and what I never did then, was break that down into what it looked like to achieve it and to get there. And when that clicked for me in 2020, because I'd made a plan with my business coach Martin about how we were going to get there, but it was broken down into monthly targets and steps. And then I broke that down into weekly steps of what I needed to get done. And then what I did off the back of that was that I figured out how to plan my week that worked really well for me. And that, like, you get your big goal and you reverse engineer, as Gary Vaynerchuk would say, you reverse engineer it all the way back. And then it breaks down into, okay, it is Thursday the 20th of June today. Just what is the one thing I need to get done today? It's that granularity. And if you were doing all this, I love it, and you don't need to watch any more of this episode, but if you're not doing it, I promise you that this is what achieving what you want to breaks down to. It's like, what is the one thing I get done today? It could be just making a phone call to somebody that you want to work with. It could be creating some social media posts for the next month. It could be writing an email that's going to go out to your list. I'm not saying these have to be massive big things. They are all the marginal gains that build up. And so when I realized that and I broke my days down into that, like, this is where a much more aligned, happier life has come from for me. And it's all about winning the week. As I would say, I've got a newsletter called Win the Week. We'll put the link on there if you would like to sign up to get lots of tips, hate that word, tips, lots of insights and thoughts and opinions on how you can win the week. But my winning the week plan and philosophy, which is definitely downloadable below this video as well, is how I run my week, and I wanted to share it with you as well. And in the download there is an outlay for how you can craft your perfect week. You can share that with your PA or anyone in your team that helps you with your calendar. You can share it with your partner or family if they need to know what that looks like for you. Because this is one of the big things as well. If you don't share what winning the week looks like with people close to you, then they will, quite unbeknownst to them, disturb you at important times just because you're working at home. They might think you're accessible when actually 9 till 11 is you getting all the brilliant stuff done. You know, you might think that they might just not know that Friday is your deep thinking day or creative day to get stuff done. So the more you can share, the better. But my winning the week breaks down to just a few steps. Number one, it's about getting really clear on what your bigger goals are, and then breaking that down into 12 months, 52 weeks, and ultimately, without overthinking it, on a Sunday going, right, what are the 2 or 3 things I absolutely must finish by Friday? Like, that has been a game changer for me, because a lot of the time it can get to Friday at 3:30 and I've not finished 1 or 2 of them. And you know what? Like, I get it boxed off then, I get it blasted out. So even though it's taken me the whole 5 days, I make a plan of what's most important and I get it done before Friday ends. I then set my schedule, so I set my plan for the week of when I'm going to focus on the most important things. So this is like whether it's 90 minutes a day, 2 hours a day, whatever that might be. I then make sure that's planned into my diary and it's a non-negotiable. So I decide on what the top 3 things are, when I'm going to get them done. And then step 3, I do my focus planning on a Sunday. And this is my path framework. And I live by it. So every Sunday I do 5 specific things. Sometimes it takes me 10 minutes, sometimes I luxuriate in this and it takes me an hour and I'm enjoying it, but I do 6 specific things in my path framework. So P is I plan what my top 3 things are on the week ahead. I announce them to my PA, Beck, so on a Sunday night I send her an email just saying, right, these are 3 things I must get done. And by telling her, she knows where my head's at and what I need to work on, and also some of them she can help get done as well. So, and I always find that announcing, well, it helps keep me accountable, but it also just lets other people into, oh, actually, I could do this, or I can help with that. So I announce my 3rd one, which is I look ahead. So one of my favourites, because what I love doing on a Sunday is going, actually I don't need to be in this meeting at all, I'm going to cancel it, I'm going to remove myself from it, especially internal ones, you know, they can get out of control. I might look ahead at external meetings we've made and said, actually I've got something I really must get done, so I'm going to ask to push that back. This is your week, these are your days, and if you need to carve out more time to get something important done, Sunday night is a really good time to do that and go into it with a sigh of, like, a breath of relief, knowing you've got enough time to do it. And then I plan in my focus time, so I make sure the focus time slots get planned in, so I've got my non-negotiables every day, and then fun is my final 5th step to it. I make sure that there is things coming up, booked in the week ahead that I'm going to love. It could be this, it could be that I've got a filming day booked in and I enjoy that. It could be a date night, it could be that I've got my exercise classes or my time for a run or a weight session booked in. But I need to make sure that the week ahead is appealing to me also, because if it's busy, I need the things that I love. So I plan what the top 3 things are. I look ahead, I announce to my PA what I'm going to get done. I look ahead as well to see what things I can remove. I get my focus time slots booked in so I can get stuff moved forward, and I make sure that there is time for fun as well, and I do this every Sunday religiously. And the final step to all of this is crafting a week that you love, and I have a rhythm to mine in that Monday's internal meetings, Friday I try and keep free for creativity and content. Tuesday afternoons are free for like sales calls or new inquiry calls or supply calls, like just phone calls and meetings. So I have a plan to it. And if you do download the PDF that's with this episode, which is my Win the Week PDF, you'll see how mine is laid out, and there'll be a template there for you to carve out your own too, and the things to think about. Because once you get a rhythm to your week of where things go, it makes it really easy to say no to things, and it makes it really easy for your PA or anyone that supports you to go, oh, okay, well, somebody's just asked to speak to Ralph, so I can put in this call for Ralph on a Tuesday afternoon. Or actually, I know what the priorities are for this week. Ralph isn't busy this week, he'd love to chat, but we're free in 4 weeks' time. Starting to get those conversations going so that everything is not super reactive in your calendar. Without a doubt, the ability to get good stuff done every day, whether they are smaller things or bigger things, has impacted my life incredibly, and I want to help you with the same thing, because winning the week makes life so enjoyable. And so this week's episode, I hope, will help you think about how can I plan next week better. And below this there will be a link to the download, so you can use that as a guide on getting next week to be absolutely fantastic. I hope today's episode has helped you, and I will see you next week. See you then. Bye bye.